Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's edition of the Our America channel. My name is Thornton Prayer. I'm a citizen, a patriot, and I care very much about our country, the United States of America. If you've been watching some of my videos, I've been talking about a wide variety of topics about what I think we're doing as citizens that are not helping our country move forward in a positive and in a coherent way. So today I'd like to talk about two related topics, and that is agency and responsibility. Now, when I talk about agency, I don't mean the agency in the sense of going to a job agency or something along those lines, or an agent that represents you in some sort of way, in business or otherwise. What I'm talking about is the concept of agency, which is having control of your life. And one of the things I think about a lot is that there's a lot of people, our politicians, us, the public, is that we're not being really clear about our agency and our responsibility of what's going on in this country. See, agency, when it comes to, let's say in the legal sense, means that someone who's a minor child, someone under the age of 18, doesn't have agency in the eyes of the law. He or she doesn't have certain rights. Their parents, hopefully if they're around, have agency on behalf of these children. But once you turn age of 18, as far as the law is concerned, you have agency if you have, let's say, normal mental and emotional faculties, as opposed to someone with a severe mental illness. So agency is something that presumably we all have. But I think it's really funny when I hear a lot of politicians who talk about having control of what's going on in our government, but when things go south, they point fingers. Somehow they don't have any agency as far as that's concerned. So they want agency as far as being able to control things, to control our taxes, to control public spending, to control the direction of the government. But when it comes to having agency of what's going on, somehow it's someone else's fault. And when you say you don't have agency, it means you don't have any responsibility. After all, we don't hold a child responsible for the shenanigans and the misbehavior of their parents. So when our politicians are running around saying that they don't have agency for certain things, like it's those people's faults, then what they're really saying is they don't have responsibility for what's going on. I think that's crazy and ridiculous. How is it that we can pay these people our tax dollars to have responsibility for what's going on a statewide and on a national level, and then they don't have any responsibility for it? That's crazy. But I'm also going to say that's on us as well. I hear a lot of Americans, and I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, a progressive or a conservative, whatever you say. There's a lot of people who are running around pointing fingers saying their behavior is someone else's fault. They don't have agency, or more precisely, we don't have agency for what's going on. Therefore, we don't have any responsibility for what's going on. Now, it's a get out of jail for free card when things go sideways in your personal life, if you say you don't have any agency. And it's also a get out of jail for free card for our politicians. So what I'm asking us, and what I'm asking you, if you're watching this, to consider is that, are you willing to have complete agency in your life? Or more precisely, if you're going to demand that you have agency in your life, which means, do I have the rights of being an adult citizen, the right to vote, the right to demand our politicians be accountable for what they're doing, but then to turn right around and say that, well, I don't have any responsibility for what's going on, I want to ask you to really think about that, because there are only a few people who are really trying hard to say, I have agency and I have responsibility, both on a personal level and on a national level. That's a challenging thing for many of us to do. And somewhere along the way, a lot of Americans, and I don't care, like I said, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you stand on the political and the ideological spectrum, a lot of us want to have it both ways. We want the get out of jail for free card. We want to have agency. We don't want to have responsibility. And I'm saying they go together. We don't give children the right to vote because they don't have agency. Therefore, they don't have the responsibility. But if you're going to demand agency as a citizen, if you're going to demand agency as an adult, then I'm going to ask you to have responsibility for what's going on. Pointing fingers is the easy way out. I would even go so far as the coward's way out. I'm not calling you a coward necessarily, but I'm saying if you're going to blame everything that's going on in this country on somebody else, someone on the other side of the political spectrum, I'm going to ask you to look in the mirror and check that and ask yourself if that's really true. Because if you want to have agency, I'm going to ask that you have responsibility as well. Feel free to leave comments in the section below. I'll try to respond when I can. I'm open to any ideas or suggestions or thoughts that you may have. That's today's edition of the Our America channel. Thank you for listening.